I love relationships. I love love, right? Being single sucks. You gotta get to know all these different people, figure out their zodiac signs, remember their favorite color. No, I'd rather just do that with one person. And then, yeah, it's fun when you go out and no one can tell you you can flirt with whoever. But you gotta realize the people that you go out and see, 98% of them ain't.
I honestly hate being single. Pretty much I'm 33 years old. Pretty much been single whole entire life. I've never had a serious girlfriend. Just because I'm extremely shy and quiet and I just keep to myself. I'm pretty socially awkward too. I'm like real soft spoken too. But I go to the gym 6 days a week because I absolutely hate the way I look, and I always thought girls liked muscles. And that's pretty much why I started getting tattoos too in my mid-20s, which I love my tattoos now, and I do love tattoos, but it just sucks being the guy because I always have to make the first move. Like, and then anytime I see a girl I like, whether it be at the bar or at the gym or something, I get so anxious. My heart starts beating so fast, and I don't know what the hell to say to them, and it sucks because I'm so socially awkward, and I desperately want love, and I really want to find somebody to build a life with and stuff, but it's hard, when you're 33 years old. Most people my age have kids and families, so my window of opportunity, shrinking, so it's really, really tough. And like I said, me being the guy, I always have to make the first move. Unfortunately, I don't ever get hit on. I'm not very good looking. I've been going to the gym for like 15 years. I've never had a single girl ever come up to me and hit on me. The bar, same thing. If it is, it's some drunk ass girl just because she's drunk. So it sucks, and I'm not a bad guy. So anytime I do see a girl, I'm not trying to go up to them and hook up with them. Just looking for a hookup or a one-night stand. So I'm an overthinker. So when I'm thinking, as I want them to like me, and I want to make sure I look good and I sound good and I make a good impression on them. So I just get way into my head and I end up never going up to them. So it's just difficult. I hate it, and I hate the way I look. I wish I was better looking. I wish I was more outgoing, but unfortunately, that's just not the kind of person I am. And it really sucks, especially when I get on social media and I constantly see couples and I get super jealous and envious and just wish, something I could have. But at this point in my life, I don't think it's something that's in store for me, which kind of sucks. But I guess it's one of those things where I just got to come to terms with it, and it is what it is, unfortunately.
This video is very interesting, right? Because when people talk about incel, they typically, there's like one look for them that people think. They think that they're nerdy, that they are very scrawny, they got glasses.
Got neck beards.
They got neck beards. You can tell them from a mile away.
Recessed chins.
But this is a version of an incel that people would typically not think is an incel. Like, if I were to look at him, I would never think that.
As a matter of fact, the fact you just said that, I didn't have incel in my mind at all till you just said it.
Yeah.
Because I would also not look at him and think incel.
Yeah, but what's coming out of his mouth is...
No, I know. Now that you say it, it makes me go, oh, okay, that's what he is technically.
Yeah.
But by looking at him, I didn't think that.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I agree with what you're saying. Like, you wouldn't imagine him being an incel.
I know.
I will say that he's done a good job at that. Because he said it himself. He got the tattoos, he got the muscles because he thought that's what women wanted. So on the outside, he doesn't look like an incel. But on the inside, he hasn't done the work. So he's an incel on the inside. Like, his mentality, you heard what he said. I'm not attractive. He put women on a pedestal. He makes it seem as though, they're better than him in a way and that he's not good enough for them. It's like, all that is mental stuff.
Yeah, they're just people, bro. It's like anybody else.
Yeah, he needs to do some internal work, dude.
Yeah, but I think this is a good example of when you don't have friends. When you don't have friends and you're in your own box and you're only in your own thoughts and all you hear is your own thoughts. Like, if he had friends, people would tell him, like, bro, what are you talking about?
Absolutely.
Like, why don't you just go to the bar, just walk with someone, you'll be fine. Like, it's not that big of a deal if he had friends. But because you don't have friends and the only voices he hears is inside his head, that's why I think it's always important for people to be social. I'll be honest with you. I'm really curious to how he got at that age and never really had a whole lot of social interaction with people. Like, was he homeschooled is what I'm wondering. Like, he never had any friends in high school. Because here's the thing, like, everybody kind of has their own tribe. And when you're in school long enough, so for example, myself, like, a lot of the kids that I went to middle school with went to my same high school. So it's like, it's not like I had to start over again and find friends in high school because, well, I saw them in middle school. So for me, I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna put him in a box of everyone else. When they go to high school, they're with the same people, middle school, whatever. I'm gonna put most people in that same box. So I'm just wondering, like, okay, well, how'd you go through this entire time and never make any friends? So I'm just kind of curious.
Well, he didn't say he didn't have friends, but I know you're kind of like basing that upon everything else he said.
Yeah, he said he's pretty much saying that, like, he doesn't have friends, he's socially awkward.
Yeah, he said he's very shy, socially awkward, but he might have, here's the thing, because when it comes to making friends versus going after women, it's a little bit different. And maybe, like, if you're a guy, you might get adopted, so to speak. Like, you might be the introverted, quiet, shy guy, and then you might bump into a dude somewhere like in a gym or something, and then they're the outgoing guy, like, hey guy, or hey man, let's go do this, let's go do that. You kind of go and you become friends with the guy, and there's low pressure because you don't want to be with that guy. He's just your friend.
Yeah.
When it's a woman, he's like in shock because, oh, I need to go approach this woman. It's like, I think he might do well if he met a woman in a low pressure environment to where there were low stakes. He wasn't going after her specifically to get her attention. Maybe she's a friend of a friend, they're all in a friend group, and maybe she finds him attractive because I don't think he's a bad looking dude. I don't know why you acts as if he's bad looking.
If I were to see him out, I would think that, like, okay, like, he probably gets a lot of girls. Like, I wouldn't think that, like, oh my gosh, like, he's this awkward guy and stuff. Like, even now when he's talking, he doesn't sound awkward.
Again, that's what I'm saying about how the external, he's done a lot of good work on the external.
Yeah.
I mean, your face is what it is.
Yeah.
His face is fine. But the tats, the muscles, everything, he's done a lot of good work on that. But clearly the out does not match the in.
Yeah.
So he might look super confident or like might be able to pull women, but inside he's just dealing with a lot of lack of low self-esteem.
Yeah, definitely low self-esteem.
Self-esteem, yeah.
So people get salty at me because I hate being single. I love relationships. I love love. All right. Being single sucks. You gotta get to know all these different people, figure out their zodiac signs, remember their favorite color. No. I'd rather just do that with one person. And then, yeah, it's fun when you go out and no one can tell you shit. You can flirt with whoever. But you gotta realize the people that you go out and see, 98% of them ain't shit. And it sucks. I'd rather find one person and we just spend the night at home. Or if we go out, she's coming with me. That's the vibe I'm on.
Let me say this. The idea, I feel like this guy has the wrong idea of love in terms of relationships. So I think that romantic love has gotten a lot of people into trouble. I think that when we go after relationships long term, we should not be basing them off the idea of romantic love in modern society. The butterflies, the movie stuff.
Yeah.
I think if he wants a long-term thing that's lasts the test of time, I think it has to be based upon some like values and practical things. I'll say that. Because I know it's a 38-second clip, but the whole I love love thing to me is like, might not be the right way to approach it.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm not going to fault anyone for saying that they want to be in a relationship. I mean, that's perfectly natural to want to be in a relationship. But my whenever I hear people say that they hate being single, I'm like, okay, well, what's the reason why you hate being single? Do you hate dating? Because it sounds like dating. It's like he hates dating, which I can get, because dating as a guy is annoying. It's
very
costly.
annoying.
You meet a lot of different personalities. What you said about the zodiac signs, I completely disagree, because I don't give a shit about none of that.
Yes,
I think that is probably one of the worst things that's ever been introduced to dating, because it's like you're forcing people to lie from the beginning and act like they care about it. I'm sorry, and there might be like 2% of women that are watching this. Guys don't care. Guys do not care about your zodiac. If you meet a guy and he cares about your zodiac sign, he's too much into it, he's trying to get something else. So when I hear a lot of guys say that they hate being single, and this is another point I wanted to make out, is that like some people, when they date, they really don't have a whole lot going on, and they feel like they need someone to complete that part of their life because they don't have any hobbies or anything else going on. So I'm like, if you hate being single, if it's just because you want a romantic partner or you want to start a family or something like that, that makes sense. But if you're just doing it because you're bored and you have nothing else going on, you really need to start working on yourself, is what I'm gonna say. Because it's funny, because there are people that I know that are like that, and as soon as they get a hobby, it's like, oh, they don't even care about being single or not. And I'm like, okay, so you never really cared about it to even begin with. You're just bored. You just wanted something to do. You're bored, or you're lonely, or maybe that speaks to another problem you have. You might not have a whole lot of friends. I think everybody needs to have friends, whether you're married, whether you're single. Everybody needs to have friends. That doesn't mean you have to hang out with your friends all the time. I have friends that I don't hang out with all the time, but everybody should always have something at least going on. Have friends, have something you enjoy doing that's outside of a woman, outside of getting married. Just find something that you can get excited about. I know for me, one thing I dabbled on when I was younger, I used to draw a lot. I don't do that anymore, but I always like doing little hobbies, because it's a good way. It's a good outlet. It's a good thing to be creative, and it's a good way to get yourself excited about something. Because so many things in life are so routine, but it's like if you have a hobby and you have something to like work towards, like something you're very interested in, like it's a good feeling. Like let's say you're someone who makes music, or you're a rapper. One goal you can have is like, okay, well, each week I want to finish a song. But that's something that can get you excited. In a life that's very mundane, we do the same thing. You clock in, go to work, you do this, you do that.
Yeah, man, that was perfect, actually. I agree 100%. And not to mention, whenever you do all the things you just mentioned, it's going to make you more appealing to the person you want to have in your life. In this case, we're talking about women, because we're men, and this is about men being single. So for the woman that you want, the woman that I want, I think that you're more attractive to her whenever you have things going on for you. If you're just kind of like boring, because women don't like being bored.
Yeah.
So if you're a boring guy with no hobbies and no friends and nothing that's going on for yourself, she might look at you, she might be bored.
Yeah.
I'm not saying saying your job is to entertain your girl. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you're comfortable enough to be by yourself and do certain things and have hobbies, I think that's a great thing. And it'll help your relationship from going stale. I mean, with every relationship is going to be ebbs and flows, and there's going to be points and times where it's more boring than others. You shouldn't look for excitement in your relationship. But my point is, if you're already living a enjoyable life on your own, then it's going to be better because you can probably take that same thing and make it enjoyable with someone else. I think it's great. I think it's spot on. Yeah, but if you, like you said, if you hate being single just because you're bored, you have nothing else going on, then that's a problem. But it does sound like this guy is, I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's 30 seconds.
It's 30 seconds. But him saying like the dating market is pretty much trash and he hates having to learn their zodiac signs, I think he's tired of dating. Which I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, dating as just in case there's women watching this, dating as a guy. So.
They know this.
Oh, I'm single, but I hate dating apps. Oh, I'm single, but what other option do we have? Okay, especially as a single man, how else am I supposed to meet women? Talk to one at a bar? Absolutely not. That sounds terrifying. You think I'm gonna go ruin a beautiful woman's night by talking to her? Absolutely not. I'm a feminist. When I go to a bar, I'm in the back corner on my phone on the weather app like a goddamn gentleman. Oh, the worst you can do is say no. No, the worst thing she could do is talk about me to her girlfriend's group chat. You know how embarrassing it would be if she was messaging her girl's group chat being like, oh my god, this guy with Bieber hair was trying to flirt with me. It was so gross. And you know a guy she would never message her girlfriend's group chat about? The guy in the back corner on his phone on the weather app like a goddamn...
Yeah, not just guys, also the women too. Because he was being sarcastic in the sense of like, oh, I shouldn't approach her and ruin her night. Oh, she's not going to talk about me if I'm back in the corner on my phone. But what that speaks to is how women are treating a lot of these guys that are approaching them.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. You do see a lot of videos where they're just kind of like,
Yeah, it's like, they don't make it easy. I'm not saying every woman should give every guy time of day. I'm not saying that. But you don't have to like blow him up on social media just because he approached you.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, I think that's a different level of disrespect. Like blowing up people on social media just for hollering at you and stuff like that. But here's the thing. When they act that way towards regular guys, what you do is you really just kill that market for you. And then the only guys that are willing to holler at you are guys that have nothing going on. So those are the guys that are at the construction site yelling at you, yo, ma, you look good, blah, blah, blah. Like some real New York stuff. Yeah. Those are the kind of guys that are going to be willing to holler at you because they don't care. And I'm not saying that because they're construction workers or anything. I'm just saying that because, I mean, that's the kind of...
Yeah, I guess, okay, fine. Yeah, you're not talking bad about construction workers. Yeah. The stereotype is they're the ones that catcall.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a video where there's a girl that's literally like walking around and then she passes a construction sign and like, yo, ma, yo.
Yeah. Another point he's making in this video is about how you're supposed to find women if you're not going to be on dating apps. And he says the bar. Again, not to be a broken record, but I think we need to get back to more social dating through friends. And listen, you have to be intentional and serious when you do this because you don't want to do this and just be looking for a hookup because then you're probably going to ruin some relationships or you may not be too great. So if you're looking for a serious woman, I think it's okay to tap your friend group or tap your family or if you trust their opinion or tap just places that I know you don't agree with this, but I know a lot of people who I work with personally who met their spouse at work. Now it's a lot more tricky. That's why I go back to saying it has to be intentional because if you're looking to have a quickie and you're going to look for Margaret up in accounting, you might not want to do that because that's going to cause problems and you don't want to force it either. But my point is, it's not just the bar. You don't got to just go to the bar and find a woman.
I mean, let's be real. The main reason why a lot of guys go to the bar or you go to the club is because what? Number one, you have alcohol to help you out. Yeah. So the alcohol is going to help with that anxiety, which a lot of guys, every guy gets social anxiety when it comes to approaching. Every guy does. There's just levels to it, right?
Yeah.
If you're a guy who do it on a regular, you're going to feel like a little bit of a nervousness and then it's going to go away. It's like a job interview. It's going to go away. It's going to be fine. But if you're a guy who's never done it, it's just the anxiety is just going to be hard. So that's something that's natural. When you have the bar, like I said, you have alcohol to help you out. And not only that, but even me as a guy, I've, like when I was younger, I had to come around and think like, okay, well, I have to stop going to the bar and going to the club to do this. And the main reason why I even thought that those were the best places is because you know what I'm saying? It seems like it's just kind of set up for it, right?
Yeah.
Like you go out there, there's like girls in a line or whatever. Like they know why you're there. You know why you're there. Like it makes sense why you do it.
Yeah.
Whereas like you go to a grocery store, you go somewhere else, it kind of feels very like, it kind of feels awkward. You know what I'm saying? It kind of feels awkward because it's kind of like you're doing something else. We're not really here for that. Whereas like the bar and the club, everyone knows why we're here.
Yeah, no, you make a good point.
So
yeah, it's like once you leave college or high school, once you leave school, because school's kind of built in a way. Depending on where you go to school, I guess. If you go to an all Catholic girls school or something, then I mean, you know. But if you go to like a school with co-ed school, more than likely you're gonna have opportunities to meet women, or if you're a woman, meet men, or whatever you're into. But once you leave school, it kind of gets more difficult. So you go places where you know, like you said, it's kind of
it's a guarantee.
Yeah, or you know, like you said, it's more like you know that they're there possibly for that.
Yeah.
If they're buying bread at a supermarket, and you walk up to them, they might, it's kind of like
I mean, like they could be married, they could be getting for a kid. Like there's so many like possibilities of you just not knowing.
Yeah.
Whereas you go there, it's like there's a high likelihood that you're gonna do it. Because a lot of, I mean, let's be real, you're not gonna see like a whole lot of married women in the club.
You shouldn't.
But I mean, if there are, well, you know why they're in the club.
Yeah, unless they're with their husband. I don't think they should be there, but don't shoot me, please.
You guys like being single, leave a like, leave a comment. If you hate being single, leave a like, leave a comment. All right, decision makers, be single.